Hello, and welcome to this workshop, Cyberplagiarism, What Teaching Professionals Should Know. We're going to talk about a lot of different things regarding plagiarism, cyberplagiarism, cheating, and this stuff. We look at the cartoon here. We see the young student who's saying plagiarism, but my roommate gave me permission to use his paper and said I didn't have to cite him. Well, the professor or faculty member there is not happy. So we're going to talk about these types of things. In this case, this is ignorance, but we'll talk about a lot of different aspects regarding these issues. So the workshop objectives are professional awareness, identification of the terms, some student statistics, why and how students plagiarize, paper mills, strategies for education professionals, and plagiarism software. The headlines are full of different issues regarding plagiarism. We could just do a quick search, and it can be Democratic, Republican, a lot of politics, screen stars, Kipling from the Jungle Book, the writer of the Jungle Book, Jane Goodall. PhD strip from German education minister for plagiarism. All types of stuff. My favorite's the one on the bottom here. Man actually, that's not on this one, but a man actually plagiarized a eulogy. So, man accused of plotting wife's murder stole eulogy. So that's my favorite. So we're going to look at, why is it important for teaching professionals to be aware of cyber plagiarism? Well, there's calls for a lot more research-based activities for all students, and that's mainly from the standards that we are currently involved in today in education. There's a lot more emphasis on language arts and writing. Common Core standards dictate that. Even though we don't have that in Florida, we have the Florida Core Standards, but they still emphasize a lot more reading and writing. And at the university level, we have the Write On campaign here at FAMU. We ask you to write and read and write a lot more. And the text and digital issues. So many of us don't even read actual hard copy books anymore. We read text off a screen, a phone, or whatever digital device, and it's very easy to copy and paste. So those are some of the issues of why it's important to be aware of all this stuff. So what is plagiarism? The textbook definition is, in an instructional setting, plagiarism occurs when a writer deliberately uses someone else's language, ideas, or other original, not common knowledge material without acknowledging its source. So there's a slippery slope with the what is and what isn't common knowledge. And the rule of thumb there is whatever discipline you're writing about, whether it be, something on math, well, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus c squared, b squared equals c squared, that's common knowledge. So you really wouldn't have to cite something like that. But the rule of thumb is if you're not sure, cite it. Okay, it's just that simple. What is cyber plagiarism? Well, there's no definition of it in any dictionary I know of, but it's really engagement in plagiarism using digital methods. For example, cutting and pasting portions of digital documents such as PDFs or other internet sources such as academic databases, websites, or using paper mills. And we'll talk a lot about paper mills here in a minute. So as we move forward, cyber plagiarism is going to be an issue, and we're going to talk about that a lot. So who's cyber plagiarizing? Well, secondary education, which would be 6 through 12 in the schools, and then higher education, there are some comparisons between the two. For example, the top 10 of where they get stuff from is Wikipedia. Yahoo Answers is number 2 on both, and then it kind of disseminates a little bit, but we can see that there is a lot of similarities of those that are cyber plagiarizing. So who's cyber plagiarizing? Says 36% of undergraduates in a national survey have admitted to plagiarizing. And this survey is a little bit older now. It's getting to be about 8 years old. It's probably more than that. And the thing here is they admitted to it. You know, there's ones that won't admit to it. So this number is probably a lot higher. It says 80% of all college students have admitted to cheating at one time or another, in some form or another, in their academic career. So it happens. The severity of it is an issue, but you know it's going on, and we should know that. We should be aware of that as teaching professionals. So why are students cheating? Well, many think they won't get caught, and a lot of times they're right, unfortunately. Failure issues, they simply don't want to fail, so they're going to cheat and take their chances. Laziness, they don't care. Ignorance, they don't even know they're plagiarizing. And lack of time and or planning, which is probably number one. Procrastination is a big problem with everybody, and it can be the mark of whether we're going to cheat or not. So how are they cheating? Well, they're using someone else's work, or they're cutting and pasting from digital sources, or they're using paper mills. So we're going to look at paper mills here. What are paper mills? Well, they're internet sites that sell research papers for a myriad of subjects. And they make money from this. The problem is everything they sell, if it's put through software, is going to be caught. So there's three I have here that you can click on the link. I've provided the PowerPoint. It's cheathouse.com, 123 Help Me, and Research Assistant. So let's look at 123 Help Me, for example. So on the surface, this looks very professional. Needs some writing help, sure. We got a ton of topics we can look at, and we can view more, and we can get all kinds of stuff here. So, you know, if we want to write a paper on technology and education, we can click on that, and here's an essay. It's not telling us anything yet as far as pricing goes, but oh man, don't worry about that. This is the problem with these websites. Now they're doing a phishing scam here. So and that's problematic. They want to get your money. So and then it's taking me all over the place. So we're gonna we're gonna try again and look at 123 Help Me again, and we'll try again here. But that's the problem with these sites when we look at them. So we'll look again. We'll try this again. Technology and education, and we say we like this one. It's 100 or 1,400 words, 4.5 pages. We can preview it and look and see if we like it. We can actually say we can go read the full essay, but we got to pick a plan first. So we can get 12 months for 99, 3 months, monthly, whatever. So we have to do a subscription to it. And that's where they get your money. And then when they do give you a paper and it's put through plagiarism software, it's going to get dinged, okay? Because they sell millions of these to people all over the place, and everybody thinks, well, you know, this is my paper. It's not going to be plagiarized. It is, believe me. Okay, so because when we go to the software that's in Blackboard, for example, as a professor, I can go into course tools. I can go and look at um, Safe Assign and your submissions, and I can look at all this stuff and see what's going on. Now, I actually bought a paper from these people at one point in time, and this is it. It's got 74% matching. And if I look at the report, I can see big chunks of plagiarized stuff. Okay, all this stuff has been plagiarized. So, and I paid $24 for this paper. And if I put this through as going to do it, I would probably fail the class and might get kicked out of school for this one, depending on the severity. We'll talk about that stuff too. So paper mills are out to get you. They will tell you anything to get your money, and it could be a huge possibility of you getting in trouble. So my advice is to stay away from paper mills and educate your students about this, to stay away from them, that you are aware of paper mills, that you are aware of cheat sites that are out there, and that they need to do their work. Okay, so how can it be detected? Well, I do what's called the poor man's Google search first. If I suspect a paper of being plagiarized and I haven't put it through any type of software, I'll just grab a sentence or two of it and I'll do a search on Google, and generally that's going to help me find it. My son used to have me read his papers, and he brought a paper to me about Kent State, and I could see that he did not write it. So I did the poor man's Google search and found out that, yeah, he's lifted most of it from Wikipedia. So we'll talk about that too in a minute, Wikipedia and other stuff. So other things too, if it's in different citations, MLA, APA, that's a red flag. Differences in writing style, it's very formal, very elegant, and then it just goes off the wire. And other ones, that's a red flag. And then we can use these software detection services. Some of them include these, the Google's poor man's plagiarism detector, like I explained, but Glant, Eve, WordCheck. But these are going out, and the two big ones now are SafeAssign and Turnitin.com. And here at FAMU, we have both in the College of Education. We have SafeAssign through Blackboard, but we have Turnitin through our assessment programs that we can use. So Turnitin.com, both services conduct searches of 4 separate databases, approximately 4.5 billion pages, in addition to the millions of papers already submitted. The databases search newspapers, online journals, everything's classics such as Gutenberg collection, and again, it can be interfaced with TaskStream and Blackboard. So Turnitin, we have assigned with TaskStream, and SafeAssign with Blackboard. So what I advise is to educate your students. Don't do a gotcha. And I'll show you that I did do that at one point, and I'll show you the results of it. And at what happened after I educated the students. And then you can define clear rules, you show them SafeAssign, you show them Turnitin, you tell them you know about cheat sites, you do all this stuff, you provide examples of plagiarism, what is paraphrasing, quoting, all these other things that they need to know. Let students know that there are consequences to this if they cheat, and then follow through. That's one of the bigger problems. so often we don't want to deal with it. It's conflict, and we don't like conflict, so we don't deal with it, and that's a problem because you're only cheating your students when you don't let them know that there are consequences and then follow through when they do something like this. And we can also provide writing contracts. I said I didn't like the no gotcha, but I did do a gotcha with them, my students, at one point before I educated them. I had them write a paper on something really out there that they had no idea about, and you can see that I had severe plagiarism with several of the students. After I educated them, though, and had them write another paper on another subject that was out there, there was much less plagiarism. I only had really a couple. And these 18 and 15, these are mainly things that are like in the references or some formatting issues. And you have to look at that stuff through your reports. When we, I wrote this paper, The Culture of Cheating, and I wanted to make doggone sure this is a published paper. I want to make sure there was no problems, but it says 23%. But if we look at it, the actual thing, we can see that some of it is a quoting issue that it didn't catch, another quoting issue, which is actually quoted correctly in this paper. Other than that, there are just these types of things, retrieval stuff, and the references. So we have to look at that, and we have to make our informed decision as educational professionals when we're dealing with this stuff. Okay, the next issue is cyberplagiarizing cyberplagiarism, and it's a new phenomenon that's arising in the internet community. And it's when websites that impart information cyberplagiarize from other electronic sources, such as someone's writing something about hot air balloons, and several websites will appear. Well, there's going to be hundreds of websites about this, but where's the content coming from? So let's look at something real quick. Kent State, for example. So if I do a search on Kent State, the Kent State shootings, and the first thing that's going to come up is going to be Wikipedia. Okay, that's always going to be the first thing that comes up. And if we click on there and we look at it, we see it's very detailed. It's got a lot of stuff here, including a ton of references at the bottom, and that's fine. But there are some sentences in here that are suspect. So if we look at one sentence here, let's look at this sentence right here. The war had appeared to be winding down in 1969, so the new invasion of Cambodia angered those who believed it only exacerbated the conflict. So that's kind of a unique sentence. It's structured kind of out there, but it uses a word like exacerbated. It's not a common stuff. So if we copy it and we go to put it in Google, that sentence, and we look at it, you're going to see there are 980,000 results, and those might not all have that sentence in it, but you can see it is there in Wikipedia, and it's in a lot of other different ones. But if we do a different type of search called Boolean search, where we put actual quote marks around this, it's only going to find this sentence in the order that it's in. And let's do that, and we'll see our results are a lot less, 10 results, but you can see that the actual text is in there. So if we look at one of these, this is called bigskyfans.com. So we go here and we see that the sentence is there somewhere. It might even be in the blog. This is kind of a blog thing, but the sentence is there, and there's no citation for this. This is stuff they really took right out of Wikipedia. So if we take this stuff and we cite this place for it, the Portland State Vikings website, for the text that's already in Wikipedia, who wrote it? Who wrote the text? Who wrote it? So are we citing Wikipedia or are we citing these people? Okay, but the problem is if you put it through plagiarism software, you're going to find that it's going to be flagged. So I'm trying to find the sentence in here. Here it is. I mean, the sentence is in here. Now, did these people cite Wikipedia? No, they did not. So that's problematic, because you could be citing these guys. It's already going to flag in Wikipedia, and who knows where Wikipedia got it. Wikipedia is an open editing website where anybody can go in and put anything on, but anybody can also go in and edit it. So you have to be really careful. So you need to go to scholarly resources, such as the FAMU library. Okay, you go to FAMU library. There's tons of databases there. You have an account. You have an account there with your FAMU ID. Your FAMU ID at the bottom, it says LIB number, and that's your library number. And if you go to these databases, there's all kinds of good ones that are out there. All subjects, like Jester is a really good popular database. So if I go to Jester and I type in Kent State, I could get some really good articles on here about Kent State. Let's try that again. So, and these are from scholarly resources. This is one about Kent State from the North Carolina Historical Review. All kinds of stuff in here from that are from scholarly resources. So the final thoughts are, some students are always going to try to game the system. It's inevitable. But most who don't have infractions in terms of plagiarizing are doing it through ignorance, which is why we have to teach our students about this. Education is the key to combat this ever-increasing issue. And with the ease of the technological age and access to digital information, this problem will continue to increase. We as teaching professionals must be knowledgeable of the issues and be the first responders to educate our students about this. So that ends this workshop. I hope you got some stuff out of it. And I hope you really think hard. If you're thinking about cheating or you know someone that's going to cheat, think hard about it and do the right thing. Thank you.